Hello, One Church. Pastors Kyle and Marcia here.
The events of this past year, much less this past week in our nation, are on everybody's mind right now.
Yeah, whether it be politics or social issues or COVID-19, or how each of those is playing off the other, we are living in a fearful, angry, and divided nation.
And the result in many ways has been a distracted or even apathetic church.
The coronavirus continues to have an enormous impact on how churches function and how Christians are mobilized. Now, we do believe that no degree of problem or persecution has ever stopped the advance of God's kingdom.
That is, if the church and its people label what is happening, and then individually and corporately, if we do something about it, we must re-engage.
We want to talk today to three groups of Christians. The first group, we'll call them concerned Christians.
Many people, perhaps many of you, are concerned or maybe even fearful about getting the coronavirus. It's affected your church attendance, and I want you to know we really do understand. This is a real disease. People are getting sick, many recovering, but some passing away.
And this hits really close to home for us at One Church, having lost Pastor Rick Baldwin. And in addition to him, we've lost a few other members of our family, our extended church family. Not only do we understand, but I want you to know that we sympathize and we empathize.
And as we've stated all along, we really feel like each family and each person needs to make their own decision, taking into account their health, the health of those, and the care of those that they're around, as well as the limits placed on them by their work.
Yeah, and if you are out there and you have legitimate concerns, we get it. We understand. We understand the difficult position many of you are in, and I want you to know that we support you and we miss you.
With that said, for some, it would be wise to ask if needless or peripheral concerns have been picked up.
Yeah, and in a corresponding video or in the text of this video, we try to address that thought, as well as the confused messaging from government and media that has impacted our communities and us as individuals. We also address if anyone has an ethical concern about how our church is able to be open indoors.
Now, the second group of Christians, we'll call them convenient Christians. Many people have allowed Saturdays to have the same pace of activity as the rest of their week. And now they enjoy Sundays as their down day or their family day or their family party day. And others have just grown really comfortable watching church in their pajamas on their couch, or maybe even enjoying cooking and cleaning or whatever while watching online.
Yeah, I want you to know something about our online broadcast. It is meant to be a glimpse of our church for the seeker. It's meant to be an answer for those who are sick or immune compromised, or for those who are at work on the weekends or swing shifts. It's meant to be a tool to help those keep pace who are traveling or who cannot adjust their schedule. It's not meant to be a replacement of weekend services altogether.
And we were saying it before coronavirus. This is a church at large issue, but more people are coming to One Church less often, and that is just not a good thing. But now this has gone to a whole new level. And additionally, less people are volunteering. Many people have gotten really used to having one less thing to do by way of serving and making a difference.
Here's the key. For mature Christians, the community that gathers weekly, church, weekend church, for them personally, for their kids, for their parents, for their unsaved or undiscipled friends and family, that weekend service, it is irreplaceable. And many have conveniently adopted concerns more out of comfort than caution.
We may think that we're in a battle against coronavirus, but a greater and now magnified battle, and one that we're going to have to fight long after this virus is gone, is the battle against convenience. The words of King David in 1 Samuel chapter 23 ring in my head, where he says, "I will not offer my God that which costs me nothing." Anything of value costs something.
And the problem is that convenience and cost, they are never helpful, and they're almost always harmful in putting ourselves in the consistent place to hear the voice of God and the direction of the Lord. Matthew 16:24 gives us Jesus' very words. He says this, "Those who want to come with me or follow me, they must say no to the things that they want. They must pick up their crosses and follow me."
So, concerned Christians are understandably on the increase, and convenient Christians regrettably are on the increase. And how our church functions and how it's mobilizing people has taken a hit. And that brings us to the third group, and we'll call them called Christians.
This is the group of the three that we are called to be. Consider this. Those who are called are not without concern. Think of the missionary family who moves to war-torn Africa, where it's dangerous to be a Christian.
And those who are called are not at all unaware of the convenience that's lost. Think of the same missionary family who leaves the comforts of family and friends, the accessibility of food and medical care.
Yeah, missionaries are pushing through matters of concern and convenience all the time to go and be and to go and do what God has called them to. Some might say, well, that's missionaries, that's not me. Charles Spurgeon said, every Christian is either a missionary or an imposter.
You are a missionary to the world around you. Whoever you are, whatever you do. The Bible that I read makes no exception for vocation, busyness, personality, gifting. Not one of us gets a pass.
Yeah, don't justify a lessened responsibility to know him or to make him known, a lessened responsibility to connect, grow, make a difference. A season like this, with a virus like this, has people making decisions more as concerned or convenient Christians than called. It's time for called Christians to increase. It's time for them to rise up. It's time for them to wake up. It's time for them to lean in rather than away.
If you are a Christian, concern or convenience must not keep you from being called. And how has God said that called Christians are developed and develop one another? The local church, the family of God, the body of Christ, the ecclesia in New Testament Greek, which means a gathering or a fellowship of believers.
In a season like this, and to get out of a season like this, let's remember what Hebrews 10:24 and 25 says. It says, let us consider how to spur one another on to love and good deeds. Let us not neglect meeting together, as some have made a habit, but let us encourage one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching.
Why does the Bible say this? Because coming to church is a refocusing lifeline, a place to refuel, and it's how God weekly challenges us to health, to growth, and to impact.
So, if you're a concerned Christian, come back to church as soon as you can.
If you are a convenient Christian, come back to church now.
And if you're a called Christian, and we're all supposed to live as called Christians, know that there has never been a time in recent history where you are more important. Esther 4:14 reminds us that we are called to the kingdom for such a time as this. We love you so much. See you soon.